Hello once again, Star Wars and unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I am your host, Darth Tuba, and today I've got some interesting unboxings to share with you. Sorry for getting a little crackle there. But before I do that, I do want to say one really exciting announcement, and that is that I have, in fact, or I should say, Mrs. Darth Tuba, my wife was good enough to be on the phone for quite a few hours and was able to secure passage on the Galactic Star Cruiser, the Halcyon, for a trip in November. Now, I've mentioned on the last episode, or one of the last episodes, that there's been a lot of reviews on it, and I was holding judgment on it until I saw some of the experience. And after seeing it, I realized this is something I really feel I should do. I would really like to do it, and my wife wants to do it with me. So it's something we're going to evaluate. We think that it was something that was worth. And again, for some, there's the argument of how much is too much. What are you really getting for that? And we mathematically kind of figured it out in our heads, and there were a few things that we thought of. It is going to roughly be over. I'm not going to say the exact price, but I will tell you it's around $5,000, which is an excruciatingly high amount of money. That could buy a lot of Star Wars collectibles, but I'm at the point now where I'm actually downsizing my collection a little bit, and maybe some of that will go towards this trip, which I'm hoping to do. But more importantly than that, I am getting to the point in my life where I feel like this is my money. I've earned it. My wife has earned it, and we have decided that this is something we want to try. Are we going to do it a lot? Are we going to do it every year? No, of course not. In fact, I would imagine this could be a one-time thing, and then I would consider redoing it maybe in like a decade or so if they've changed the story or done something or upgraded it or done something different with it. But as far as the story itself, I think it is a one-off thing. I don't think it's something that they are expecting people to keep coming back to unless they have a huge amount of discretionary income. But I don't think that's really the design of it. So I'm excited for it. It will be in November, and I will be doing probably by the time November comes around, there's going to be a lot of vloggers that have already kind of covered it. I will do some piecemeal covering, but I want to experience it. We're going with a couple that are friends of ours that are also into Star Wars. Also, the one of them is a really prominent local actor in community theater, so is into improv and stuff. So I think that this could be a really fun experience on multiple levels. So we will share some of the experience with you, when we do it. So I'm looking forward to that. But as far as the expense of it, I do want to say our thoughts were, you have to compare it correctly. Don't compare it to a Royal Caribbean cruise or a Norwegian cruise that you can go for like a week and a half, 2 weeks for that amount of money. It's not that type of a trip. It's actually something that's very, very different, and it's not for everybody. So, and we appreciate. And I appreciate very much that if somebody feels that it's too much money for them to go, if they can't afford it or they don't want to put that money towards something like that. I get that, and I support that, and I understand it, all right? But just try not to put a lot of anger towards people who do go, who choose to do this. And I think it's kind of middle of the road right now. I've looked, and it took us half the day just to get through. So clearly there's popularity for this. And there aren't unlimited spots. I mean, it's a very finite amount. But having said that, there are still a lot of dates available on a lot of cruises. Does that mean the cruises are empty? No, it just means that there happens to be, spaces and rooms available on certain cruises. So, I don't think it's because the price keeps it more manageable for Disney because it's such a finite thing. Maybe they'll lower it to see if they can get those rooms covered. Who knows? But in any case, we got our room, we have it reserved, and we're looking forward to it and sharing those experiences with all of you. So back to our unboxing. So first thing I want to point out is we received this in the mail. Now, interestingly enough, what are these, you might ask? Well, if you recall in an earlier episode, when I did the unboxing of the Razor Crest, one of the doors from the landing gear snapped off, and the little tiny holder broke off. So I was a little disappointed. And therefore I emailed Hasbro and said, or HasLab rather, and said, yeah, this kind of happened right away. I don't think I wasn't manhandling it. So they politely got back to me within 24 hours and said, we will be sending you a replacement set of landing gear. And then that was a few weeks ago, so within, like I said, 2 weeks or so, I received all of the landing gear replacement doors. I am very excited about that. Kudos to Hasbro and HasLab for helping us with that. I don't even know if I'm really going to even install them. I'm going to just kind of keep them near the toy, and if there comes a point where I move or I have to move the toy or whatever, I'll maybe do it then. But now, one could say, well, if you built it better, Hasbro, it wouldn't have broken and you wouldn't have had to worry about it. But my answer to that is, look, they had a strong attention to detail with this toy, and when you have strong attention to detail and you use very thin plastic, you're inevitably going to have issues that might require kind of a solution, and this is a great solution. So thank you, Hasbro. Happy to have that. Next up, we have a little shopping I did in Walmart, and it's always time, this time of year as the spring approaches, we have our Easter eggs. Now, there's not much to this. There have been years with Easter supplies ranging in dozens of different items. It seems all I could find was that there was an Easter basket, of course, Grogu Easter basket, and there was, I think, like an egg that you can put, like, that was candy that had Grogu on it. And then this, of course, is just the decorating kit, which we do decorate eggs, so might as well use. It's pretty much all the same company that does all of those. So, we like the pastel color eggs. I don't know if I'm going to make them into, baby Grogu shapes or whatever, but if I do, I will submit some photos on my Instagram or Twitter so you can see what they look like. So there's that. But another thing that was fun is we have another one of these, what I call officially licensed bootlegs. Yes, we have C-3PO himself, and I'm actually kind of enjoying these. I've been enjoying finding these because they're just so cute, and they're pretty much like cheap Black Series version, keep knockoffs of the Black Series. They're a tiny bit smaller. I would say they're probably like just over 5 inches, whereas the Black Series are a solid 6 inches. But it is kind of fun to see how they make these and what they're doing with them. And they're $5, which, hey, $5. When was the last time anybody paid $5 for a figure, right? So, granted, you're paying for very, very little. So here he is. Now, these things have no, they only have like a waist turning articulation, no leg articulation at all. Okay, none at all. But what's kind of nice about that is that they stand pretty easily. So for display purposes, they work okay. Got the arms, 1, 2, turn the head, 3, and torso 4. So there he is. Oh dear. Now I want an R2 to go with this. So now that I've collected, probably got a good 8 or 9 of these, I'd like to gather them all and put them in one area just so I kind of keep track of them. Really, really cool. I like them. I mean, again, they're cheap, and they're, and I just laugh. I know this is Disney / Hasbro's answer to bootleg figures. They're just coming up with their own, which I think good. You should do that. All right. So that's that, and then now we have to talk. This is how Walmart ships figures now. No box, no packaging, just these bubble wraps. And by the way, this bubble wrap, it's not bubble wrap. It's like there's barely any bubble to it. So I have no idea what these are going to look like. I can tell you, I'll show my address. I can tell you that I am not happy about that. Now, I am not going to complain. I'm not going to write a letter of complaint. I'm not going to submit anything because, in the end of the day, folks, we're collecting toys. But the state of the world as it is right now is such a horrible thing in places that this is nothing. Okay, and I want everybody to know that. It's more for comedic purposes than anything else. So I would just say, I'm not pleased with the way Walmart does things when it comes to shipping, but without a mom and pop store or without a toy anchor store like Toys R Us anymore, there's no other options. I do agree. Some people say online that it would be great if, Hasbro will find another company that would be more capable of, doing correct types of shipping. Now, got the figures out. Okay, here's our first one. We have Ayla Secura, and this is the 50th anniversary Clone Wars cartoon. This is the micro series, the Jendi Tartakovsky, I believe. and this is VC 217. Okay, VC 217. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Actually, surprisingly, the card is relatively in good shape. It doesn't look bent, really, and doesn't look like it has any creases. You know, it is part of the problem. There's one tiny crease over the punched hole up here. Barely. I don't even know if you can see it. If I put the light on it, you can see there's a little tiny scratch or crease there. That's about it. Okay. Flat. You can see it's got a tiny bend, but not too bad. So honestly, this one I'm happy with. Okay, I'm happy with that. And again, I think if in a perfect setting, if Hasbro or Walmart were to drop these figures into bags and ship them out with other figures in bags or other items of similar weight, and they all just kind of lay in the back of the postage vehicle or whatever, and not getting a lot of weight thrown on them, then this is probably an acceptable way to ship figures. But you and I both know that that's not the way it always works. There are oftentimes very large, heavy boxes that can sometimes get in the way. I mean, I'm sure they try to avoid that, not just for the purposes of bending figures, but for fragile items that could be broken. You know, this is technically not a broken figure, even if the card is bent. So there it is. I love the art. I think we already have this figure in some other capacity, but having it with the art is kind of cool. The Clone Wars Micro Series art. I am trying to complete the Vintage Collection series as best as I can. I'm very close to it, meaning I'm very close to keeping up with it, but it's getting harder at times, so we'll have to wait and see. All right, that was number 1. Let's work on number 2. Now, I don't know if this is, yep, still Walmart. All right, I have to watch what I'm doing here when I don't want to cut it. Okay, and we have, all right, this one did not fare quite as well, but it's not, no, it's pretty bad. This is Barriss Offee, okay? A very prominent character in the Star Wars genre, in the Star Wars storytelling. This is VC 214. It's so great. All of these teens and 200s, I've been waiting for to come in. Now, I will say that if you look closely, you'll see, you can tell by my temple there that there's a bit of a bend. See that? Now, the bend itself isn't too bad. It can probably be pried back without much issue, or if you place it in a card stack. But there is one at the bottom here. You can see the corner. You have a little bit of a crease there. So there's a little damage with that and a tiny bit on this side. So not the best, but again, as I said, in the grand scheme of life, I'm not complaining. It just, you know, it is something that I do. Although I will say this from another angle, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong. This stuff, I don't know how biodegradable this is, okay, versus a cardboard box with plastic wrap and bubble wrap on the inside. If it's going into landfill, I would imagine that this is probably better because it's less. Sometimes I try to use things like this if I'm doing shipping out with items. So I sometimes save some of these, okay, so that's something. So I can at least reuse it. But just to be aware that, you know, maybe that sense it's better. Okay, you can leave a comment on how you feel about that. All right, and then of course we've got the wonderful cartoon, the Tartakovsky art that's beautiful on there. I love that Clone Wars series. The Clone Wars series, for those that don't know, was a micro series, meaning it was only the first season only lasted 3-4 minutes at most each episode, and they did it for like something like 5 or 10, about an hour's worth of episodes or something of that nature. And they just would release it every week. So at that time, it was between episodes 2 and 3. So it came out between 2003 and 2005. And there were 2 seasons. In the first season, it was basically, you know, one-off 3-4 minute episodes lasting about an hour. And then I think it was an hour. And then the second season was 12-minute episodes. I think there were like 5 of them. So, I mean, it was a cool concept, and it really did kind of spark the interest. It was done out of Lucasfilm's, you know, they didn't do it. It was Tartakovsky, same guy who did Samurai Jack and a few other popular cartoons, and he was the one who ran it, and it was great. But then Lucasfilm took it back, and they said we're going to do 3D animation, and then that was the birth of the Clone Wars show. We have 2 more here, so let's see how we did. Yeah, so our score is 1 acceptable and 1 slightly less. And again, I'm not returning any of these. I'm not going to try to reorder them. They are what they are, and it's fine. Okay. And we have this is number VC216, Battle Droid. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, Battle Droid. The red Battle Droid, kind of cool. Okay, VC216. Now, this one, probably in the middle, okay? The bend is not too bad, okay? But if you look closely at the top, if there's one tiny crease, well, two. One over the Lucasfilm logo right there, and one up here. So, again, I know for some people this is an unacceptable purchase, okay? Because they are buying these figures as, maybe they're buying them to resell. I don't know. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with people being so concerned about the quality of a packaging of a figure, because in Hasbro's mind and in Walmart's mind, this is a toy that's going to get opened up and played with. Okay? If they want it to be a toy that's going to be collectible, they'll put a higher price on it and they'll ship it in a box. It'll be shipped in a collectible way. Okay? Places like Sideshow and Hot Toys and Gentle Giant and Kotobukiya, those places do that. This is a toy that is meant to be opened up and played with. In the eyes of Hasbro and Walmart, I'm not saying I'm gonna put it on and hang it up on display like this. But so if people are getting really that upset, like for me, it's like, hey, look, I'm gonna hang it up. It's gonna find a way, place on display, and then I'm going to maybe put it in a display case and put it up, and it's gonna look fine. And then someday I or my kin will sell it. And when they sell it, somebody will be like, well, it's got some damage on it. So they're probably going to end up selling the whole lot in one shot. And one little crease on one figure or several isn't going to matter. So again, grand scheme of things, not a big deal. So the people that get really upset about it, is it because you want to make more money? Find another business. Find another business where that doesn't happen. That's all I can say. Last one. That's my opinion. I'm sticking with it. All right, last one. So I would say one good, one not so good, one better. So I'd say like one gets an A, the second one got a C, and the third one got a B. I'm a teacher. I go by grades. Here we go. Let's see how this one looks. Ooh, looks like we are completing our 4 Clone Wars series figures that we were able to get. By the way, there are more. There are some clones that when I went on to try to order them, when that dropped, the clones sold out immediately. So I'm figuring that they felt that those would be more popular. But this, of course, is Luminara Unduli, okay? Number VC215. So 14, 15, 16, 17, right? Great card, great art. Here's some art on the back. Again, this is all part of the 50th Lucasfilm Limited logo. It's got some creasing in the middle, right through the Clone Wars and top of the card there, right there. Excuse me. So, but overall, not too bad. I'd call this one a B figure too. All right, so here we go. The 4 figures, Clone Wars Micro Series. There we are. All right, they'll be marvelously displayable. But for those who would like a better card, then I think your only choice is to go through a secondary market or buy it out of the box, like out of the casing in the store. All right, so that's my suggestion for you. Sorry, I'm all of a sudden like getting coughed. I'm all getting choked up about Clone Wars, man. No, it's not. It's just allergies. But anyway, that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Let people know about the channel. The more people that watch, the more it gets into that mysterious algorithm. So I'm just trying to get to the love of Star Wars collecting and just basic Star Wars lore to those who want to see it and are interested. Thanks. We're getting a few more comments popping in from time to time. Make sure you leave a comment if you have a thought, an idea, something you want me to do a show on. I'd be happy to try that and take suggestions. So thank you so much for watching. You can also check out my War of the Stars podcast that I co-host with John Mark Tolley. And check out the Star Wars Unboxing page on Facebook. And look for me on Instagram and Twitter at Darth Tuba. And leave an email if you have any questions that you don't want to be put on the comments. DarthTuba77@gmail.com. So until next time, thank you so much. May the Force and the toys be with you.